Friends, 17-day war in Ukraine. Things are moving and moving the way the Russian military wanted. The consolidation period is over. Last 1 week or something that was continuing since yesterday. And this is being seen on the ground as well as being acknowledged by the Western media, the Western powers, the Western military. What has happened? There have been strikes in Western Ukraine, adjacent to Eastern Ukraine, that is the Dnipro, Luhansk, Ivano-Frankivsk and other regions. While in Kiev, the Russian convoy, which was said to be 30, 35 or 40 kilometers long and was being touted as they are freezing in the cold and they will be destroyed doing nothing. Now they have fanned out, spread and surrounded and moved almost 5 to 10 kilometers. Basically from east as well as north and surrounded Kiev. That means the attack on Kiev is imminent. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. So far, no. Irpin, northwest of Kiev, just adjacent, have been bombarded. And that is as far as the present movement is concerned. Few other information says that Putin has agreed its own defense minister's proposal that they too allow international volunteers, foreign volunteers to join Russian military in Ukraine. And so far 16,000 volunteers have applied, basically from Syria and elsewhere. On this I will like to quote Thomas Sankara. He says, a military without political training is a potential criminal. Though a few of those Syrian volunteers have said that since Russia helped them in Syria, so it is their duty to help Russia backwards. Okay, let us see. I will come to this quote again. In the meantime, economic sanction, the US as well as European Union say they will tighten further. What will they tighten now? I don't know. It is turning out to be other way now. As far as US consumer price is concerned, it has jumped. Maximum, in fact, more than what it was since 1982. 79% in energy and food prices since last year. US economy vis-a-vis the wartime economy. So far, it was already in shambles and even US dollar is in deep crisis. So far as exchange value, universal exchange value, let us see, this is being tried for last few decades, wherein Iran, Russia and China has been the main force behind it, but haven't succeeded so far. Partially, yes. Let us see how this war does that. And of course, in side by side, the price rise in essential commodities, energies, the shortage is also showing everywhere, not only in Russia, but elsewhere as well. And we will be feeling in India also. Russia has agreed to supply modern equipment to Belarus. Belarus neutrality is going for bunt, and in turn Belarus will provide grains, wheat to Russia. We can make out that Russia how badly needs them. And refugee crisis as per UNO has become more than 2.5 million. Zelensky in the meantime, while anything he feels like talking, he does talk. And he said that the Melitopol mayor has been kidnapped by Russians. And that is against international law. While Biden has threatened Putin that if he uses chemical weapon, he will show his worth. I think Putin too can counter and say that if Biden uses nuclear warfare, Putin will show him his worth. These are useless bloody propaganda. But by the way, these two propaganda which I talked about is being shown in every media, every social media world over, like in India as well. Well, the other chilling point is what the Russian Defense Ministry has exposed The classified documents captured during this war in eastern Ukraine from the Donbass region, from the top officials of National Guard, it says that this secret document on 22nd Jan 22, it was released and exposed now. Since 2016, there have been a brigade, National Brigade, which includes your Air Assault Battalion, even Azov Battalion, not talked about but could be part of that, trained by US and UK instructors on NATO line. However, this document doesn't clarify how deep NATO is in this, but it is obvious, it is clear. And the overnight hero, Zelensky, you think he is not part of it? Of course, it is through him. And this National Guard servicemen are being trained, selected very, very carefully. Their motivation level through visual agitation, information and propaganda materials, flags, printing products, like what US Army tried to do in Afghanistan by gifting millions of books to the young children in Afghani school, telling them that they are meant to do jihadi work. Imagine. Talibanization. And after 2 decades, they have run away after utterly destroying Taliban. They know civilization, nothing left. And therefore, I will re-quote or remind you, not re-quote, remind you of Thomas Sankara. Go back and see what he said. These army are criminals. The army of world over are actually speaking criminals. They are used by their bosses to plunder the rest of the world. Well, this training by US, UK and if NATO was there, naturally it was there, to be completed by 28 February, and they were supposed to be attacking Luhansk and Donetsk, which Kiev was very openly saying they have no such intention, and Western media was talking. So in future, be careful. If they say they have no such intention, that means you know that they have such intentions. They were preparing to move forward, and whatever they have been doing to enhance that, and special military operation thwarted that operation. Well, friends, as far as the ground situation is concerned, it is that Pentagon too has said worriedly that in last 24 hours, serious advance of Russian troops towards Kiev from north and east, as I have said, and shelling in Mariupol and Kharkiv. They want to end this resistance from the Ukrainian army. And in the meantime, the other news is that LPR, with the help of course, Russian troops, have liberated 70% of Luhansk region from the Ukrainian army. Now, you as independent person or part of any party, left or whatever you may be, social democrats, liberals, of course, not much of hope is there, but then you denounce Russian aggression. I am with you. But you only denounce Russian aggression, like what in India, CPI-ML Liberation and SUCI. They have a very large protests on ground denouncing Russian aggression and saying that Ukraine has the right to join or not to join NATO. And Zelensky is the hero. Must we listen to? What the hell? I mean, that means you have learned the abstract law that it is war between imperialist powers and due internal rift, contradictions for the world market, resharing it. But that is the end of it. You must also remember that abstract laws are not always true. Concrete examples, concrete phenomena are always true. And they don't have to prove themselves. The abstract law has to prove itself again and again. And especially, it is not mathematics 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. In particular situation here, Again, I am not supporting Russian aggression. But how about understanding the conditions of Ukraine after 1953-1956, when capitalism started being restored in USSR, 1991 when it disintegrated, 2004 in Ukraine, 2014 in Ukraine, and now present situation. Is Ukrainian government led by Zelensky or his predecessors, Poroshenko, are the voice of the people of Ukraine? How about the people of Ukraine whose public property is being sold en masse, whose right to learn Russian, speak Russian, learn or know the history of their history, Soviet era history, has been banned, who will like to have a sovereign country, a neutrality? Nothing. How about LPR, DPR? How about the wishes of the people of Crimea? Nothing. Thank you, friends. Keep watching.